Hello there, Dizturb3dwun's here, and this is going to be my review of Let's Get Textual by Teagan Hunter, narrated by Emma Wilder. So, just to start off, in case nobody cares about my opinions, I'm giving it a 3.8 out of 5. It's a good book, it's an above average book, I enjoyed it, and I was sad to see it end, but also excited to read the next one in the series. So that's a sign of a good book. I'm interested in the other characters in the universe, and I want to hear their stories as well. Another sign of a good romance book, especially contemporary romance where that is necessary. This story is about a guy and a girl who wrong number text each other, and they continue to speak, hijinks ensue, they live happily ever after in the end. Now, obviously, more happens than that, and I will be doing some spoilers. So, they start off with the main character, Delia. Her and her kind of longtime college boyfriend are having a mutual breakup, and the wrong number text happens that night, and they begin casually speaking a few days later when they realize, oh shit, that's the wrong person. Now, I've never been part of a mutual breakup, so I'm not sure how realistic this portrayal of it was. I found it fine, so I'm not like annoyed by it or anything. I want to see Caleb's story in the next book, and I will be. Zach, the hero, and Delia, the heroine, are nerdy. Very nerdy. A lot of these novels are very, I don't want to say hyper-masculine, but I kind of want to say hyper-masculine. And it was an interesting twist that while in this one the hero is obviously cut, has a six-pack, and a quote-unquote nice ass, he was also not like just casually rock climbing with a black book full of women that he gave up on for this love of his life. So yes, any women reading this, listening to this review, I mean, that does mean this is not in fact a bad boy meets a good girl story. It's a good girl meets a good boy, and they have a normal, healthy relationship story. Now, that last bit is kind of true, but there is one catch. Okay, that's not true. 99% of all romance stories have the exact same, like, plot arcs, where it's the beginning, they meet each other, the climax, near the end of the climax, like, when they're developing their relationship, they're all happy, then something dramatic happens, and either the man or the woman overreacts, acts like an emotionally stunted child, or just really, really stupid and out of character for like a scene, so that they have a short-term breakup, and then in the end, or if it's a trilogy, the next story, they get back together. This one, the breakup was because Zach, the hero's brother, got a hold of his cell phone, sent himself a naked picture that was on the phone of Delia, and spread it around the locker room and at their college. Now, getting over the fact that this is literally a sex crime that he was not charged with in the story, which definitely should have happened, they handled it fairly realistically, actually. I don't think that a person who had their privacy that horrifically violated would be thinking rationally and making the best decisions in the moment. So, them having a tizzy about that and like having a fight and breaking up whenever she's assuming he did it intentionally and he's assuming like what the fuck is even going on, that's actually fairly realistic. So I'm not going to just like Lauren Blakely this story and just drop a star because the writer makes all their characters emotionally immature. She did a very good job with the characters, I think, for just the 6-hour story that it is. So, now, what made this story above average? Because everything I've said now would make an average, good average story. The above average was this story actually had me laughing out loud several times, especially when the baby goats were brought up. Is it a gimmick? Absolutely. Is that a bad thing? Absolutely not. Gimmicks are great. That's why they exist. To clarify, at some point when they're texting before they meet, she accidentally convinces him to buy a baby goat. And he does. And the baby goat is relevant for the story. It actually plays a part in them getting back together in the end. It's very, very sweet. Very nicely done. Let's see. Delia's best friend Zoe, I think her name was, is... She gave me the impression she was inspired out of Cassie from the Bad Boy Billionaire series by Max Monroe. She was I don't want to say a party girl because you never actually see her partying except for like one bar scene. But she definitely gave the impression that she gets around, so she's just kind of her outgoing friend, where she's the indoorsy nerdy girl. Zoe, by the way, is the heroine of book 2, which I will be reading after this. And Zach's roommate, I cannot remember his name, started with an R. He obviously wasn't super memorable. He was in the book for 3 appearances, I believe. 2 on the phone, 1 in person. And he was actually a catalyst. So the 2 of the 3 times he was there, he was catalytic in helping the plot progress. So while his character was boring for this story, it was set up nice, and he was shown to be relevant to their lives, which is important going forward because that means he's not just nobody there for no reason. Okay. Next bit. Sex. Is there sex in this book? Yes. Is there on-screen sex in this book? On-screen meaning, is it descriptive? Absolutely. Now, it comes in 2 flavors. There's the excessive, almost, flirty banter, especially when they're texting. But in regards to that, they never like sexed or anything like that. The sex is only ever physical. Like, they never do it virtually. There are, I want to say, 3 sex scenes, which is pretty normal. At this point, I've read so many books, I don't really care about them. So they all kind of blur together as to one sex scene unless they start talking in the middle. And they didn't. So it was just, they had sex. I got it. It was pretty vanilla, which is fine. The story had vanilla characters. They didn't need to be having hardcore BDSM. So yeah, it's there. Mature warning, definitely. In summary of my little stream of consciousness here, and no, I did not write this down. I just want to get my thoughts out there. Like I said, it's about a 3.8. The book didn't exactly touch me emotionally, which would give it a 4.5 minimum, but it was definitely a good, well-written book. Great for what it was shooting for, and that's big. I won't judge this story as if it was trying to be this hardcore, dramatic American literature. This was a lighthearted romantic comedy, and it was a very well-done lighthearted romantic comedy. Is it the best I've ever read? Not by far. Is it good and well above average? Absolutely. And Emma Wilder, I want to put a note here, narrated this book, and she did a fantastic job. One of the better narrators in the romance genre. But they're right up there with Andy Arndt. Like, she's super good at what she does. So, yeah. That's it. Have fun. Read the book. I recommend it. I'll go ahead and put an Amazon link below. So yeah, go grab it. It's on Kindle Unlimited, Audible, paperback. I doubt it's on hardback. Not many things are nowadays.